Seniors, 3 nuts you should never eat and 3 you must eat. I'll never forget the day one of my patients, a 68-year-old man named George, walked into my clinic complaining of aching legs, constant fatigue, and memory lapses. He was active, careful with his diet, and swore by his handful of mixed nuts every day. Sounds healthy, right? But what he didn't realize, what most people don't, is that some of the most common nuts we eat past the age of 50 can quietly chip away at our health. As a doctor, I've seen this pattern far too often. Certain nuts, though marketed as heart-healthy and protein-packed, can actually trigger inflammation, interfere with medications, and weaken both bones and circulation. And the worst part? You won't feel the damage until it's already stolen your strength, mobility, and independence. Today, I'm going to uncover the truth. We'll talk about 3 nuts that could be undermining your health right now, and the 3 powerhouse nuts every senior should be eating daily to support brain function, protect the heart, and maintain strong, stable legs. This isn't just about nutrition, it's about staying sharp, mobile, and free in the years ahead. Because growing older doesn't mean giving up your strength, it means being smarter with the choices you make. So if you've ever felt tired, foggy, or off balance, this might just be the message you've been waiting for. Let's start by exposing the 3 seemingly innocent nuts that could be silently sabotaging your health, one handful at a time. Number 1, peanuts. Let me tell you about one of the most misunderstood snacks in America, peanuts. Yes, the same ones you've probably enjoyed at ball games, in trail mix, or as a spoonful of peanut butter before bed. They're everywhere, cheap, familiar, and marketed as heart-healthy. But here's what most people over 50 don't know. Peanuts might be doing more harm than good, especially to your legs, your heart, and even your brain. You see, peanuts aren't technically nuts at all. They're legumes, like beans and lentils. But unlike their cousins, peanuts grow underground, and that makes them especially vulnerable to a dangerous toxin called aflatoxin. This toxic compound is produced by a mold that thrives in warm, damp soil, and while most of us can handle tiny amounts of it in our younger years, studies show that as we age, our liver becomes less efficient at detoxifying these hidden poisons. The result? A higher risk of liver damage, cellular aging, and even certain types of cancer, without you ever realizing it. But it doesn't stop there. Peanuts are also packed with omega-6 fatty acids. Now, don't get me wrong, our bodies need some omega-6. But the modern diet is already overloaded with it, and too much omega-6 creates an imbalance that fuels chronic inflammation. That's the kind of low-grade fire that damages your joints, stiffens your arteries, and slowly weakens your muscles, especially in the legs. If you've ever felt like it's getting harder to walk upstairs, or you wake up with stiff knees and ankles, this kind of inflammation might be part of the problem. Now, here's something most seniors never hear from their doctors. Peanuts can interfere with your medications, specifically blood thinners. Because peanuts contain a natural amount of vitamin K, they can alter how your medications work. That might not sound serious at first, but it can tip the balance between safe blood flow and a dangerous clot, or worse, uncontrolled bleeding. It's a risk most people take without even realizing it. And let's talk about peanut butter for a moment. It's comforting, convenient, and downright addictive. But unless you're buying the kind that's just ground peanuts and nothing else, there's a good chance your jar contains hydrogenated oils, added sugars, and way too much salt. This trio is a recipe for high blood pressure, heart disease, and rapid aging of your arteries and brain. One spoonful might feel harmless, but over time it can chip away at your memory, drain your energy, and quietly steal your independence. I've seen patients who thought they were making a smart snack choice, only to find their legs growing weaker, their balance less steady, and their focus fading. The truth is, the danger of peanuts isn't just in what they are, it's in how they add up over time. Each handful, each spread on toast, might be pushing your body closer to fatigue, frailty, and even cognitive decline. So what's the takeaway here? Peanuts may seem like a harmless, even healthy choice, but for many seniors, they're a silent threat, fueling inflammation, interfering with medication, and accelerating the aging process one bite at a time. And now that you know what to watch for, let's move on. Because peanuts aren't the only healthy snack that could be hurting you behind the scenes. Number 2, cashews. Now let's talk about another popular snack that seems harmless, maybe even luxurious, but could quietly be stealing your strength from the inside out. Cashews. Smooth, creamy, slightly sweet. They feel like the perfect treat. In fact, I've had patients tell me they keep a little bowl by the recliner or snack on them before dinner thinking they're doing something good for their health. But here's the hard truth: cashews can be a hidden danger, especially as we age. First, what most people don't realize is that cashews are high in oxalates. These are natural compounds that bind to calcium in your digestive tract. Sounds harmless, right? But when you're over 60, every bit of calcium counts. Your bones are naturally losing density. The last thing you want is a food that pulls essential minerals away from your body, especially the calcium you need to keep your bones strong and your legs steady. I've seen too many older adults suffer from fractures after a simple fall. Hips, wrists, even spine injuries that could have been prevented if their bones were just a little stronger. And when you're unknowingly eating foods that make that worse, that's a risk you don't need. But the problem with cashews doesn't end with your skeleton. Surprisingly, cashews are also high in carbohydrates, more than most other nuts. That means they can spike your blood sugar. If you're managing prediabetes or diabetes, this can quietly damage the small blood vessels in your legs and feet. Over time, it can lead to numbness, tingling, poor healing, or even worse, open wounds and serious infections. And then there's your kidneys. The same oxalates that pull calcium out of your bones can also crystallize into kidney stones, which are painful, dangerous, and increasingly common after the age of 60. I've had patients wind up in the emergency room from a single stone, completely blindsided. Now let's talk about something most people overlook entirely: the texture. Cashews are soft and slippery. For someone with dry mouth, reduced saliva, or dentures that don't quite fit right, they can become a choking hazard. It happens faster than you'd think. One wrong swallow, one quick bite, and a pleasant snack turns into an emergency. I don't share this to scare you. I share it because I've seen what happens when we trust a food that's been marketed as healthy without questioning how it really affects our aging bodies. Cashews aren't evil, but they're not your friend either, not if you're over 50 and want to stay strong, steady, and independent. The good news? Once you know better, you can choose better. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So now that we've exposed the hidden risks of cashews, let's keep going. Because there's one more nut out there, small, elegant, often used in gourmet recipes, that might be the most surprising danger of them all. Number 3, pine nuts. They're tiny, delicate, and often sprinkled on gourmet dishes like pesto pasta or fancy salads. Pine nuts seem innocent, elegant even. But don't let their small size fool you. For older adults, these little seeds can cause big problems. I remember one patient, a 74-year-old woman named Irene. She loved experimenting with Mediterranean recipes. She made her own pesto from scratch every week: olive oil, basil, garlic, and a generous handful of pine nuts. She was proud of her healthy lifestyle, until her blood pressure suddenly spiked, her mood shifted, and she started experiencing strange metallic tastes in her mouth that made eating miserable. After some digging, we traced it all back to her pine nuts. Here's what most people don't realize. Pine nuts can interfere with more than half of the most commonly prescribed medications for seniors: blood pressure meds, statins, antidepressants, and more. Just a small amount can throw your system off balance, leading to unpredictable reactions like dizziness, arrhythmias, or dangerous blood clotting. And then there's something called pine mouth. It sounds strange, but it's real and documented in scientific literature. It's a condition where everything you eat starts to taste bitter and metallic, sometimes for days or even weeks. For older adults, especially those already at risk for undereating or losing appetite, this can quickly spiral into malnutrition, weakness, and frailty. But it gets worse. Pine nuts are rich in polyunsaturated fats that oxidize quickly. When they go rancid, which they often do faster than you'd think, they release harmful compounds that fuel inflammation, joint stiffness, and cognitive decline. We're talking about a direct hit to your brain and your mobility, two things you absolutely need to protect after 60. And let's not forget the physical hazard. Their size and slippery texture make them a major choking risk, particularly for seniors with dry mouth, weaker swallowing muscles, or reduced saliva production. I've seen ER visits triggered by something as simple as a bite-sized seed. All of this wrapped up in one tiny package, small but dangerous. That's the truth about pine nuts. Now, the good news is this: not all nuts are enemies. In fact, some are your greatest allies, packed with nutrients that support strong bones, sharper thinking, and a healthier heart. Let's shift gears now and talk about the 3 nuts you absolutely should be eating every day, because when chosen wisely, the right nut can help you stay strong, mobile, and independent for years to come. Number 1, almonds. There's something reassuring about almonds. Maybe it's their familiar crunch, their soft, nutty flavor, or the fact that they've been around for centuries, used in ancient cultures not just as food but as medicine, and for good reason. Because when it comes to supporting your bones, muscles, heart, and even your brain, almonds are one of the most powerful allies you can put on your plate. Let me tell you about Joan, a 66-year-old retired teacher I've worked with. She came to me with early signs of osteoporosis, thin bones, aching hips, and a growing fear of falling. We made some changes to her diet, and one of the first things I suggested was simple: a small handful of almonds every day. 6 months later, her bone scans had improved, and more importantly, she walked into my office standing tall and moving with confidence. Almonds are loaded with calcium and magnesium, the perfect duo for building strong, dense bones. Calcium fortifies, while magnesium makes sure that calcium gets to where it's needed, your bones and not your arteries. That balance becomes critical after age 50, when bone loss starts accelerating and fractures become a real threat to independence. But it's not just about bones. Almonds are rich in plant-based protein and healthy fats, the kind that help your muscles stay firm and functional. That means more strength to climb stairs, carry groceries, or keep up with your grandkids. And don't overlook the fiber. They help keep digestion regular and smooth, which makes a bigger difference in your energy than most people realize. Now let's talk about your heart. Almonds contain monounsaturated fats, the same kind found in olive oil. These help lower LDL cholesterol, that's the bad kind, which stiffens arteries and leads to heart attacks and strokes. By including almonds in your daily routine, you're essentially giving your heart a quiet, daily dose of protection. But perhaps the most overlooked benefit is what almonds do for your mind. That thin brown skin you see on each almond, it's packed with antioxidants that help fight oxidative stress, a major contributor to cognitive decline and memory loss. These natural compounds work silently, guarding your brain cells and helping you stay sharp, alert, and emotionally balanced. I've had patients tell me they feel more focused, less foggy, and even in better moods after adding almonds to their routine. And the best part? You don't need a lot. Just a small handful a day, raw or dry roasted, unsalted, is enough to make a real difference. Almonds are not a magic pill, but they are a consistent, reliable source of strength, one that grows more powerful with each passing year. And in a world full of complex health advice, it's refreshing to know that something so simple can do so much. Now, if you're ready to discover the next nut that not only strengthens your body but helps rebuild the circuits of your mind, stay with me, because this next one is just as remarkable. Number 2, walnuts. There's something poetic about the shape of a walnut. It looks just like the human brain. And maybe that's no coincidence. Because when it comes to protecting memory, improving mental clarity, and even supporting balance and coordination, walnuts are one of nature's most powerful gifts for the aging mind and body. I remember working with a retired engineer named Thomas, 72 years old. Sharp guy, still loved reading and tinkering with electronics, but he started forgetting things. Words would slip away mid-sentence. He lost confidence in social settings. We talked about lifestyle changes, and I told him, start with walnuts. A few weeks in, he told me, "Doc, it's like someone wiped the fog off the glass." So what's behind this little brain-shaped miracle? Walnuts are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that supports the flexibility and function of brain cell membranes. As we age, our brains naturally shrink and slow down. Blood flow decreases, inflammation creeps in. But ALA helps keep those neural pathways alive and responsive, like oil in a well-worn machine. Even more impressive, walnuts are rich in polyphenols, potent antioxidants that have the rare ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. That means they don't just float around in your bloodstream, they actually get inside your brain, where they fight inflammation and protect neurons from oxidative damage, a major driver of cognitive decline, dementia, and memory loss. But the benefits of walnuts don't stop at the brain. They're also loaded with arginine, an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide production, which improves blood circulation. Better circulation means more oxygen to your muscles, better reflexes, steadier steps, and fewer falls. For seniors, even one fall can change everything, so anything that helps you stay balanced is worth paying attention to. And here's something you might not expect. Walnuts may even help with sleep. They contain natural melatonin, the hormone your body uses to regulate its sleep-wake cycle. If you're someone who struggles to fall asleep or wakes up at 3 a.m. wide awake, a small serving of walnuts in the evening might help guide your body back into its natural rhythm. Thomas didn't just regain his mental sharpness. He started walking every morning again, felt more energized, and started joining his old book club meetings after months of isolation. All from adding a simple handful of walnuts a day. It's easy to overlook the power of food. We think of health in terms of pills and procedures. But the truth is, your brain, your heart, your muscles, they all respond to what you feed them. And walnuts, they nourish the entire system. So if you're ready to support your memory, your mobility, and your peace of mind, keep walnuts in your pantry. And coming up next, there's a nut that most people underestimate. Small, colorful, and packed with heart-protecting nutrients. Let's take a look at the final powerhouse on our list. Number 3, pistachios. They may be small, but pistachios carry a powerful message. Staying healthy doesn't have to be boring. With their vibrant green and purple hues, their satisfying crunch, and their naturally sweet flavor, pistachios are a joy to eat. But beyond the flavor and fun, they're also one of the most underrated tools for protecting your heart, your eyesight, and your mobility as you age. I once worked with a couple in their late 60s, Bill and Sandra. They'd both been diagnosed with high blood pressure and were worried about slowing down, feeling tired, and losing their independence. I gave them one simple assignment: replace their salty snack mix with a handful of pistachios each day. Just a few weeks later, Bill told me, "Doc, I've got more energy than I've had in years." And Sandra swears she can see colors more clearly again. Let's unpack that. Pistachios are packed with potassium, a mineral most seniors don't get enough of. Potassium helps your body manage sodium levels, and that's critical for controlling blood pressure. High blood pressure, or the silent killer, stiffens arteries, reduces blood flow to the legs, and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. But pistachios provide a heart-healthy dose of potassium that gently lowers pressure and supports smooth, steady circulation throughout your entire body. And then there's your vision. As we age, our eyes become more vulnerable, especially to macular degeneration, the leading cause of blindness in older adults. Pistachios contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful antioxidants that protect the macula, the part of your eye responsible for central vision. It's not just about reading the fine print. It's about seeing your loved ones' faces clearly, driving safely, and avoiding dangerous falls. Pistachios are also a great source of plant protein and fiber, which help maintain muscle mass and support digestion, two essentials for staying active and energized after 50. Plus, their crunch means you actually have to chew them, which helps stimulate saliva and keep your mouth and jaw muscles strong, something many seniors overlook until it's too late. But perhaps my favorite benefit? The simple act of cracking open each shell. It slows you down. It turns mindless snacking into a mindful ritual. That small moment of focus, that physical movement, it helps maintain fine motor skills and hand-eye coordination, both of which are critical for preventing slips, spills, and stumbles. Pistachios also bring something intangible but powerful: joy. Their color, their crunch, their taste, it all adds a spark of pleasure to eating healthy. And that's something we need more of as we get older, not less. So if you're looking for a snack that supports your heart, vision, muscles, and mood, pistachios are the full package. Just make sure they're unsalted and enjoy them in moderation, because even good things are best when balanced. Now that you've discovered the 3 nuts that can help you stay sharp, steady, and strong, let's wrap this up with a powerful reminder. Because what you choose to eat today really does shape the freedom and vitality you'll carry into tomorrow. Every day you make hundreds of small decisions: what to eat, when to move, what to believe. And while some of those choices may seem insignificant in the moment, they quietly build the foundation for the years ahead. The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean clarity, it can mean freedom, and it can absolutely mean strength if you give your body the right tools. Today we uncovered the surprising dangers hidden in 3 popular nuts: peanuts, cashews, and pine nuts. They may look innocent, but they can quietly fuel inflammation, interfere with medications, and weaken your legs, heart, and mind when you need them the most. But we didn't stop there. You also discovered 3 of nature's most powerful allies: almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. These aren't just snacks. They're everyday protectors, supporting bone density, sharpening memory, improving circulation, and guarding your heart. And here's what I want you to remember most: it's never too late to change. Whether you're 55 or 85, every choice matters. A single handful of the right nut. A small step away from something that no longer serves you. That's how strength is rebuilt. Not all at once, but one thoughtful decision at a time. So take this knowledge and use it. Look at your pantry, make a swap, share this with someone you care about. And most of all, keep going. You deserve to walk strong, think clearly, and live fully, not by chance, but by choice. And if this video made a difference for you, let me know. Type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm always listening, always learning. Thank you for watching, and here's to your health, your independence, and the vibrant life still ahead.